Alright guys, welcome back. This will be the 6th game of the first weekend of Season 10. Already a lot of games. So here I'm fighting against Frost Sign and he's playing a 2-tank box with a few single target magic DPS and then Autokrato and Kruger. With healers, he has 3 healers and 1 sub healer in Marindal. And then the rest are a bunch of assassins. So you can see here I actually already changed my diehard back to Elwyn. I think even in the 5th game that I posted previously, it's already an Elwyn, but I forgot to mention it. So here, going right into the draft. First ban Lucretia as usual. First ban Pepsi. And first pick Christian here. So ban out Wetham and Autokrato. Then we pick Werner. So the usual, I lose my Pepsi, I want an assassin, so I pick Werner. So this Wetham ban basically means that I don't want to go into a tank push game with him, with my sub-tanks, because I think he just has too much mages. There's Kyura, Aegis, and Marindal. So it's gonna be very hard for me to just target ban all the mages and pick a burn. I think it's too much effort. So I'd rather just play an assassin game with him. So he double bans my healer here. And he goes for a Rozen. So I don't agree with this pick. I think it's very griefy. Like, you're gonna lose way too much of your damage options here by picking this Rozen. You have so many ways of healing, and I'm not very heavy on debuffs. I'm not playing some Himiko Kruger kind of team. So this Rozen doesn't really have a lot of utility. This is usually just the, haha, I have tank and healer and I'm just gonna sit there, draft. But I think it's too early to go for this. And anyways, I ban out the Kruger because I already lost my healer, and I ban out Pepsi because usually if I don't have my Pepsi, I'm not as confident dealing with an opponent Pepsi. We've seen this a few times now. And I just go for my Elwyn because Elwyn is still okay against Christian and it buffs my Werner. So here it was between TJS and Elwyn as the buffer, because TJS can provide with teleport, which is kind of nice for assassins to get around, but I went with Elwyn because it's still decent against Christian. If he picked Hilda on the first pick, I'll probably have went with TJS, but because he picked Christian, I'm okay with Elwyn. And he also potentially buffs TJS and Cherry down the line if I get to pick them. And I don't get to pick them because they're banned. Here he goes with a Cherry here, which makes sense. Usually people, they have a Christian, so they pick the princess unit. So it was probably between this and Marindal. And given my picks, he decides that Cherry was more useful. Pick the Hilda here because I've pretty much banned out all the AoE DPSs here. And I can play a Hilda without a healer because they're all single target damage. And I'm not really pressured to have any form of healing. And it's just nice to neutralize the Tejas specifically. And against Kyura, the anti-crit is kind of useful as well. So, it prevents the Cherry from getting a double kill, prevents Tejas from randomly hitting my DPS, and also prevents the Kyura from critting, which is, Kyura is quite reliant on the crit damage, I would say. So this Hilda pick just makes sense here. Tejas does come out to give the Cherry more mobility. Ban out the second tank and Kyura because I'm okay with playing against 2 healers. Get my second assassin in Sigma here. I don't understand this ban as well. Like Ares I can understand because, displacement is still displacement. But you have a tank and healer, so I don't think you should ban the Helena here. I think he might be scared of a Highland Warrior Helena, but if you're scared of that, then I don't think your first 2 picks should be a tank and healer. Get Sissy White, and I get Autokrato on the 5th pick. So Here we can see the Cherry. The Cherry decides to bring Injure troops against my lineup with a Hilda and Autokrato. So I'm not sure what it's trying to kill even at this point. The rest of his units are kind of standard. Here we can see SSM CC White with 13k HP, which is pretty insane. My Teddy Bear CC White has only 12.4 if I remember correctly. Rozen's probably fixed immune as well, but you can't really tell because Heart of Redemption gives healing %. And Christian is bringing double guard in case Elwyn goes in and dispels a guard. Which, you know, makes sense, but because of that, she doesn't have the assassin aura, the range damage aura for my assassins. So, bit of give and take. And because I'm playing against a Rozen, my Autokrato brings Sword Breath and Assert. There's no point bringing Provoke. And you know, Assert is just really nice to have against Christian usually, because you can push the Christian. Anyways. It's the usual turn 1 setup, nothing much happening. I just push forward because I'm not too worried about this Cherry. Because all I have to do is park my Autokrato down the middle, make sure his aura covers all my assassins. Aegis is still my high value kill here, because it's probably the only thing that can break my Hilda down reliably. And the other one can be settled by my Burner anyways. Move my Hilda in front because this is basically, I'm just challenging his Cherry like, yo, you wanna try to make a kill on my Sigma? Because this is a bad move for him, because it's definitely not worth trading Cherry for Sigma. So, you know, I'm free to just move into the Cherry's range because I know he won't go for it. Miracle gets dropped here. And because my Hilda moved in front, I'm free to just throw out my 3C. And kind of just disrupt his formation. Sadly, the Christian is still guarding pretty much everyone. But one thing to note here is that I stole Cherry's faction buff effect. So Christian's faction buff is very strong on Cherry because it's 18% damage. Up to 18 for everyone female on the map. And losing that means he has even less damage going into Autokrato's aura. So on top of not having Earth Elf, now he loses 18% damage. So it's getting harder and harder for this Cherry to do anything. So yeah, the other things I stole was like Miracle and Christian's aura command range increased by 1. Moves back, drops the one long-term investment on Aegis, doesn't really do much. Uses the Lancer Guard. Oh, that's one thing you can do against Autokrato, I guess. You wait for the 3C before you use Guard, just to make sure it doesn't get stolen. But overall, doesn't really do much. Freezes the Cherry here. And here I just move up my Sigma to threaten the TGS. Because Cherry with Angels, with just a Miracle, plus 15% damage dealt. If he runs all the way here, it's in Hilda's aura, it's in Autokrato's aura, and even though my Sigma has no defense buff, it's quite risky for him to make that move. Like, if you get a kill, nice, you kill and then run back. But I think at this point I got into his head a little bit. He's scared to make the move with Cherry when he sees the auras. So he kind of makes a weird moves and, you know, moves his tank all the way up with a Tenure Breeze to try and block my Sigma from the TGS. But that doesn't work for him because I brought Assert on my Autokrato. I just need him back and take 4 of his buffs because that's totally balanced. Get a clock as well. So I stole his guard as well. So basically, I'm the Christian now. You are no longer Christian. I'm Christian. Our Christian. So here he just tries to heal his tank. But this TGS is no longer guarded. And I just kill it with Sigma. Cherry walks up and trades. And chooses to stay on the terrain. Like, I guess maybe he thinks that he can survive with angels on terrain here. But Warner says no, basically. And that's just a game. So, 5th pick Autokrato basically ripped his whole team apart. You know, like making him scared for his Cherry to go in. I'm not sure why he didn't just bring Earth Elf. Like, Earth Elf would have enabled him to actually trade. But I think I've caught him with the counter arrow Sigma before. You know, Earth Elf Cherry usually will die to Sigma on the counter attack. And I'm pretty sure given his playstyle, it's going to be last rites instead of 1-up. So he was probably a bit scared of hitting my Sigma as well. So this Autokrato was just extra icing on the cake. And Autokrato also made it pretty hard for this Christian to play. Like, the moment he walked up, I just kicked him back and stole all his buffs. So even though he has a Rozen and a second healer, Autokrato can still bring value on the map with his aura and his buff stealing. So healers are not a counter to Autokrato, is what I'm trying to say in this game. Yeah, so yeah, I think he leaves after this. Yeah, because he lost all his DPS. So I've already posted 6 games from the first weekend. And even though I think I have 1 or 2 more games that are pretty good video material as well, I'm probably just gonna stop here and save them for another weekend maybe. And I'm just gonna do a shameless plug here. If you want to catch these games live, I think during the next few weekends I'll probably be doing pilot accounts to get to 1901. If you want to catch me live and you want to see my thought process when I'm actually playing the game in the middle of the moment, you know, just check out my Twitch. I usually stream at around 3 PM GMT plus 8, I think, which is 2 PM in-game time for SCA players. So yeah, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.